Collapse is evident. No one will deny that there is a collapse about to take place. In fact, in many ways, it is already underway. I'm going to go through 10 of the different reasons why that is so. And these are by no means the only reasons. These are just 10 that I chose from a list that I will provide to you in the description of this video. Number 1. The home ownership rate in the United States has dropped to the lowest level in 19 years. This means that people are unable to afford homes. The trend has reversed with the subprime mortgage crisis. And even though interest rates are rock bottom right now, people are still unable to afford homes in the United States, and they are forced to become renters. This is a growing trend and will continue to spread throughout the US and other countries around the world. Number 2. Consumer spending for durable goods has dropped by 3% since November. People are simply unable to buy what they need to because their debt has been maxed out and they are simply unable to afford any more. As I will talk about further, the food stamps and other social assistance programs are at all-time highs right now. Number 3, major retailers are closing stores at the fastest pace that we've seen since the collapse of Lehman Brothers. So after the financial crisis, Lehman Brothers had collapsed, and this sent a shockwave through the system. And as stated here, major retailers started closing stores rapidly, and that trend is escalating right now. Why? Because people are simply unable to afford those products. And what does that say about the economy? That it is drying up very rapidly. Number 4. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 20% of all families in the United States do not have a single member that is employed. That means that 1 out of 5 homes have nobody employed in them. That is an extreme number, showing the poverty that is spreading across the United States like wildfire. Ultimately, this will put too much of a burden on the government with the social assistance programs. Number 5. There are 1.3 million fewer jobs in the U.S. economy than when the last recession began in December 2007. And that is at the same time the U.S. having a growing population. So you have fewer jobs. At the same time, you have growing population. There's a major disparity that's occurring right here, and you can see that without a doubt. According to a new report from the National Employment Law Project, the quality of the jobs that are being quote-unquote created since the end of the last recession does not match the quality of the jobs lost during the last recession. So what are they doing? As I've talked about many times before, they're hiring part-time workers, they're giving them less hours, and now with Obamacare, the small business owners are simply going for the part-time employees instead of the full-time so that they don't have to pay out on Obamacare. So this is what's happening here. The jobs are not being replenished. Many people are forced to take on 2 and 3 jobs, whereas they can skew the numbers doing this. So this is really a fallacy. After adjusting for inflation, men who work full-time in America today make less money than men who worked full-time in America 40 years ago. Now, only a few decades ago, 2 people did not need to work to support that home, yet that is the case for most families today, and they can barely scrape by. Many things have changed since then. The inflation rates are dramatically higher than they were, despite what the numbers are showing us, because energy prices have risen, food prices have risen, and it does not correspond to the wages that people are getting today. Number 8, 62% of all Americans make $20 or less an hour at this point. What does that say about the economy? When you can get a job, but that job is paying you barely enough, perhaps half of what you were getting before being laid off, and this is the only thing you can take, so you end up taking it, that says that the economy is far gone. All of those high-paying wages have been shipped overseas. All those manufacturing jobs, good quality jobs, shipped overseas to the third world using taxpayer money. And meanwhile, the individual here is only able to get a retail position which pays significantly less. Number 9, 69% of the federal budget is spent either on entitlements or on welfare programs. Something that I make clear in my book is that they will have to reform the entitlement programs such as Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, these type of things. If they do not, they're going to have to go bankrupt. But if they actually do pull back on these programs, the people are going to riot. So in one way or another, there's going to be a destruction here somewhere. Where it happens first, we'll have to see. And number 10, there are now 49 million Americans that are dealing with food insecurity. This, to me, is the most dramatic of all these statistics. When nearly 50 million people are unable to eat without the government's help, what does that say about the economy? And the fact is that it is long gone. If they pull that crutch away from the system, there will be mass riots in the streets. And that's what I see happening if things do not change. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like they will anytime soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up to signal that you would like more of this kind of video. And don't forget to get onto the Money GPS Insiders. That's where I can give out more information like this through the email system. And I will see you all on there.